Yeah.
Forward rotating to backward rotating. Now we're here. We can do the same backward to forward. Now there's different planes of the body. I've just demonstrated the shoulder. You've also got the thigh. You've got the foot. You can do the torso too. Of course, forward and backwards. And all of this was influenced through my training with nunchucks. It's really just about changing the direction from a downward strike to an upward strike, right? And if you get the snap on your wrist down, you can make a beautiful sound with it. So if I grab the nunchucks now, it should be quite clear to see the influence it has had on developing these techniques. So again, upward rotating, or with the rope, backward rotating, you use the shoulder, and you're forward rotating. Same can be done to reverse again. The thigh, bang. Here, bang. Okay? Left side as well. Always important to train the left and the right side. Back, forward. Cool. The unique thing is the nunchuck stick is a bit shorter, so using the foot doesn't really work unless you're willing to go down, kind of out of reach, but I guess it does the job. So it makes more sense to stay around the torso, shoulder, and the thigh at most. Just makes more sense. So that is adapting nunchucks training to jump rope training. You can also do it adapting it to boxing training. You've got your jab there, you've got your cross, you've got your rear hook, you've got your uppercut, or an alternative uppercut which is more sneaky, is to just back out there. The trickier thing is the re-chamber. So you'll notice that for the hook, it was quite an extravagant movement here and then down. But that's because it needs to be re-chambered. If you're throwing a hook punch, all you've got to do is throw that hook and your chamber is bringing your hand back up to the face. But when you throw the hook with the nunchuck, you're here, you have to bring the nunchuck back to chamber, back to a controlled position. There are different ways you can do this. The way I like to do it, after throwing that hook, bring it back across, down, because I like it under here. This is very much controlled. But another way to do it and get it controlled is over the shoulder. So similar to how earlier we looked at spinning both under the shoulder and over the shoulder, you can chamber under the shoulder and over the shoulder. And actually this second one is probably better because you can bang out a hook there again. So chamber, hook, chamber. So that's what makes it a bit more complicated. And then when you've got the uppercut, look, the uppercut is also tricky because if I turn this way, from this controlled position, and note that it doesn't really make sense to do the uppercut from this position because the path of the stick has to go up. So it's better if it starts down here. So from this control position, to do the uppercut, you have to first release the stick, little chicken wing action, and then swing it up. So we looked at two ways. Probably the easier way is to just, like you're revving a motorbike, just swing it up and you're here. Okay, so the stick, if you imagine that's someone's chin, bang. I'm not a violent guy, by the way, but I do appreciate the art of combat. So if that's someone's chin, if they're a bit closer, you've got. Okay, now the more complicated one is you're gonna release, turn your wrist out and swing it up. And this is more reminiscent of an actual uppercut. In boxing, you're not gonna uppercut like that. You're gonna uppercut like that, with the palm up facing towards you rather than with the palm down. but it's super tricky with the nunchuck because you've got to release. There's our chicken wing again. Turn your wrist out and swing up. When you swing, you want to aim to get it here so you can control it. And you can choose to chill here or just bring it in. So that would look like from here, release, swing, there, release, swing. If I looked at it this way, release. So you notice if you look at that movement there, I'm out and I tuck in, swing, controlled position, bring it back down. Now this one's better because if I do this side profile and overlay it with the earlier uppercut, this you can get a much longer range, right? Because as soon as you release, you can turn that wrist out, swing. So that's my take on how you could do boxing punches using nunchucks. Let me know what you think. Of course, when you've got 2 nunchucks, you can bang out the combinations. I've only got one with me today. Maybe that's for a later video. So you've got 1, 2, right? You can bang out the combinations. So you've got the jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, hook, jab, uppercut. The difference is that because we're controlling a nunchuck here, we don't really have the protection. Normally in boxing, if you threw the jab, you got your hand to protect you. But with the nunchuck here, I guess the best you can do is bring up to here. Maybe you do that. If I throw that jab, cross. Yeah, maybe it does work. You don't really have the mobility. At least the chin is protected. Can't quite reach a temple, but at least the chin is protected. So here, chum, 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 chum. I guess it works. So let me know what you thought of that. Very experimental stuff. The technique could do with sharpening up, but I do think it's really cool to be able to do that. If you could get those strikes down to a level of mastery where you can throw your strikes just as well as you could throw a punch, oh man. And at this point I should probably say I don't condone violence. Violence is not the answer. But it can be fun. But combat is an expression of movement of the body. Yes, you can inflict pain on someone, but in order to do so effectively, you need to be able to command your body well. And so that's the aspect of it that I admire a lot. And so experimenting with these movements I think is just really cool stuff. Maybe I'm a little bit weird, I don't know. Anyway, all the best with your training, day raging.